Welcome
Los
to Los
cuentos del
Cuentos
Finado
del
José.
Finado José. Tonight we're going to explore the story of Finado José and La Sayona. Now this is a continuation of a story I already told you about La Sayona, the evil spirit woman who haunts philandering men. And it's been long foretold, not all of them survive the encounter. Let's begin, shall we? Now, the one thing that you need to know about Uncle Jose is that he loved a good drink and he loved a good dance. And he absolutely loved the ladies. It didn't matter what age or constitution, they were all pretty good for him, no matter he was already married. And one night, after a long day tilling the soil, as it were, on his land, he decided to go to the local cantina. And so off he went, going down the road while his little wife stayed behind, handling the children. And so he goes off into the cantina to while away the hours, and while away the evening, and while away the night. Drink after drink, dance after dance, woman after woman, and a little more dance and a little more drink, and then even more of a drink. Until around 3 a.m, when he staggers out of the little cantina in the local pueblo, in the local little town, in the llanos of Venezuela. And there's something that you need to know about Los Llanos of Venezuela, is that especially during this time, there were no lights to be had on the roads. And sometimes the shortest way was through the woods. And so this was the path that Uncle Jose would take going back home. Now, some 10 minutes into his walk, right ahead, he saw the figure of a woman. And she looked absolutely lovely from behind. Long, luscious black hair, a lovely figure, a beautiful dress. She was in heels. And so he, loving women as he did, hurried up to her. "Ma'am, do you have the time, ma'am?" he would ask. But the figure continued walking, and so he hurried on along to catch up to her until he caught up with her. And looking at her face, at her side profile, she was gorgeous. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in any town around. And he was absolutely besotted, enamored of this woman. She was tall, long, black, luscious hair, long eyelashes, dark eyes, a beautiful heart-shaped face. Tall. And so he started walking beside her and started chatting her up. But he noticed that she was not much of a talker. And so he continued chatting away, asking her where she was from, and all she would do was extend a hand. And so he offered to walk her. And so off they went. And he continued to chat and speak as she stayed absolutely silent. About 10-15 minutes into them walking together, he started to notice that she was slightly taller now, and he was confused, but he's like, maybe I had a little bit too much to drink. After all, he had been inebriated as he left the cantina. And so he continued to talk, and more animatedly, with more passion, because he was very interested in this beautiful, beautiful woman. And so they continued to walk. And as he continued to talk, all of a sudden he started noticing that she was getting taller. And as they continued to talk, she got even taller. Not in any way that was obvious, but as he would turn, every so often she would become more and more taller. Until, and she had bent her head, and her hair had fallen over her face, you see. And so he continued until at one point, well into this long walk down this darkened road with La Sayona, he turned to her, and she turned to him. And now her face was that of a monster. She had these long fangs that came down to her chin, and somehow he hadn't noticed that she had grown these long nails. And you might laugh, but he was so horrified that he tried to run away, and she came after, step by step, closer as he ran. And she was just walking, but she seemed right behind him, and he ran and he cut through the woods. He ran, and he ran faster, but she kept right behind him, and she was simply strolling along. And all of a sudden, as he looked back with these fangs and these teeth that came down to her chin and those long, long fingernails, he hit an extended branch of a tree, and he passed out. And the next morning, a farmer would find him passed out in front of a tree. Now, you might say that this was not true at all, that he had simply drank too much, that it was his wild, wild imagination. But that's the story of how Finado José never cheated on his wife again. Here's to La Sayona for looking out for the girls. I hope you enjoyed today's story. It was a short one, but I think it was an enjoyable one. I think he got his just desserts, don't you? Have a good night. Until next time. And don't let the Sayona catch you, because he was lucky, and rarely do they come out alive. Bye-bye.